Oh, wait, can you move back where you were a little bit? Sorry. Put that right there.
Right here?
Alright, is that... Okay, that's good. Ready?
Okay, so same question? Talk about childhood?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up in a small university town in Washington State, in Pullman, Washington. And it's the home of Washington State University and the Cougars. And my dad taught economics at the university. My mom was a music teacher and also worked for a local Head Start preschool program in the town.
Well, I realized when Seth's parents came to one of the report backs that really this is such an essence of Seth that I think he developed growing up and clearly got from his family and his parents, who I know from talking to him were active in the civil rights movement. So I think that he has a long history of social action, and he's really made Haiti his focus for many, many years. And I think that
Have students from our school. We've done 5 different trips over the last 2 years, and we hope that some of you sitting in the audience right now will think about joining us this February and in the future, because it's an amazing experience, and you're going to learn more about that today.
But I had no idea that he was involved in this whole other thing with Haiti and the Haiti Solidarity Club. And it's just like crazy to me how there's like so much to him underneath the surface that no one knows about. And he's such like an amazing person.
I walked into his classroom, which is, if you know, is really in the back of the school, a little bit off the beaten track, which kind of goes along with Seth. And I walked into his room, and he has many posters on the wall. In particular, he has the one of the 1968 Olympics with the black athletes having their fists in the air. He also has some pictures of Che and other pictures of Cuba, and I kind of knew that we would probably have a lot in common.
That we're all here on this earth with the same basic worth as human beings, and that we have the same rights, we should have the same rights to develop that potential.
That like at first was a signal to me like, wow, this guy's really nice. And then as like I started going to more and more meetings and getting more involved, I just like started to figure out like how much of like an amazing person Seth is, and how like devoted he is to his cause, and his passion makes other people want to become passionate about such like a topic.
I'm just amazed that he put so much of his time, his personal finances, his everyday thoughts into ongoing actions in Haiti.
We were in Haiti, and we were with one of Seth's friends that he had gone to like activist meetings and stuff in Haiti with, and they had their arms around each other, and it was just very casual. And then out of nowhere, Seth is just like, yeah, remember that one time we were in jail? And everyone's like, what? Apparently Seth was in jail in Haiti with this guy. So casual about it. Like, oh yeah, nothing of it. Just in jail in a third world country.
Bless you. The significance of bless you. The significance of the work in Haiti is there's a few different levels, and I just really hope that this sticks with you. One is, as you may know, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. It is absolutely unlike it. I've traveled around a fair amount. I've never seen a country in such dire poverty. So what we do here is when we go, whatever we raise, every penny goes 100% to SOPUDEP and other similar grassroots organizations. After the earthquake, you guys remember the earthquake, right?
Yeah.
2.5 years ago? 300,000 people killed in 10 minutes. Over 300,000. When you go to Haiti, if you go to Haiti with us, you're going to see rubble everywhere. You're going to see hundreds of thousands of people still living under tents, in tents and under tarps. And the Haitian people say, where's the aid? Where did it go? We received report after report of how UN troops had gone in and killed civilians, shot at civilians, and we saw evidence that they killed civilians. We saw, and I filmed, I had a school camera with me. We saw a mother and her 2 babies who were both shot, all three shot and killed. They were still on the floor of their shack. Another man, the man had been shot in the jaw. We saw his corpse. And people explained to us that the UN troops had done this. And later we went, I postponed my flight back to the States, and a day or two later we went to the local hospital near Cité Soleil that is set up by Doctors Without Borders, and most healthcare is unaffordable to the poor in Haiti because they don't have the money. And this is a charity hospital, a nonprofit. So it's a hospital that often treats people from Cité Soleil. I mean, they by no means get the health care they need, but in emergency situations they can try to go to this hospital. And one of the hospital staff came out and spoke to myself and Daniel Tillius, my Haitian comrade, and they explained to us that the day of that assault there had been an influx of shooting gunshot victims from Cité Soleil into the hospital, 27, mostly women and children.
I just wish that someday I could be as compassionate about something and be able to make such a big difference that he's making. And I think that's what everyone else wants too. And he's kind of setting everyone up for this path to go and do that themselves. Everyone a little bit aspires to be like Seth in the way how he's so compassionate and loving.
I think that many people are active in causes, but to have the sort of 24/7, 365 days a year commitment, and I honestly believe that Seth puts Sopudep and Haiti first in his life, oftentimes before his personal needs, and really works, puts that first in his life.
And after the earthquake, more and more students who knew about our trips, and we were talking to them about the possibility of going, students started to push us and say, I really want to go. And
that's how Seth has influenced me, having such an opportunity for kids like me to go there and make a life-changing experience and something you'll never forget.
He's worked with the administration, he's gotten popular support amongst the parents and the PTA and within the Los Altos community.
If Mr. Babb were here, he'd be singing blues songs. My baby done left me in Mississippi.
I think all of you know when Seth is at the work site, and Seth's very physically active and really strong and in really good shape, and he just really puts his heart and soul into dirtying his hands and the actual manual labor of love that goes into building the work site. And it's interesting because he probably, I don't want to say works harder than the kids, but he really is very strong, and I think he gets a lot of satisfaction from actually building the school from the ground up, and it's really heartwarming to see him doing that.
to me, solidarity means that, it's also an old labor movement term, that we're all in this together, all or none, and that. So to me, that's part of it, and I also think solidarity translates to our relationships with the earth and with nature. That we need to strive, like many Native American nations did and do, as well as other civilizations in the world. We need to strive to have balance and respect for non-human life, and we need our own homegrown Lavalas style movement here, so that we can improve our solidarity, and also that we can set free our own potential as human beings to be in solidarity with one another here inside the United States and with nature as well, and that we can create a more cooperative, more equal, and more loving society.